frequent storms and earthquakes. These are the 8 natural disaster-prone areas in the world. The climate continues to change and produce unpredictable weather patterns as global warming intensifies. As a result, more and more places are more vulnerable to natural disasters, such as floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, tropical cyclones, forest fires, landslides and so on. Scientists say the increase in natural disasters is an early indication of climate breakdown, and some areas of the world are being hit hardest by these events. According to the World Risk Index, here are 8 regions of the world most at risk of natural disasters. 1. Small Oceania Islands. Based on a report published by Ruhr University Bochum in 2021, Vanuatu, which is an archipelago between Fiji and Australia, was named the country with the highest risk of natural disasters in the world. Apart from Vanuatu, other Oceania islands, such as the Solomon Islands, Tonga, Papua New Guinea and Fiji are also high on the list. This is because their extreme exposure and isolation puts them at risk from storms coming from the Pacific. Plus, seismic activity can increase the risk of storms and even possible tsunamis. 2. Caribbean Islands. Caribbean islands are highly vulnerable to hurricanes and earthquakes. In addition, they are also at risk of natural disasters due to their exposure to the ocean. The World Risk Report identifies Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda as the 4th and 5th highest risk countries, respectively. In addition to the hazards caused by coastal areas, these islands also face the risk of volcanic activity. There are 19 active volcanoes in the Caribbean, 9 of which are in Dominica. These islands are ranked so highly because a major natural disaster could have a devastating impact on the economic sectors they rely on most, namely agriculture and tourism. 3. Southeast Asia. Located on the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, a geographical ring in the Pacific Ocean that is home to 75% of the world's active volcanoes, it is no surprise that Southeast Asia is highly vulnerable to natural disasters. The region alone has more than 700 active and potentially active volcanoes. Waters in Southeast Asia also have warmer and higher temperatures compared to other Eastern Pacific waters. This makes the region more vulnerable to storms. Due to the changing climate, the frequency of typhoons in these countries has also increased. The countries most at risk are Brunei Darussalam, the Philippines and Cambodia. 4. Central America. A wide variety of tropical storms in Central America occur due to air and water currents coming in from the Pacific Ocean on one side and the Caribbean Sea on the other. Apart from hurricanes, the region is also prone to earthquakes and volcanoes. A 680-mile-long chain of volcanoes known as the Central American Volcanic Arc or CAVA, runs along the Pacific coast from Mexico to Panama. Among the Central American countries ranked in the top 15 of the World Risk Report is Guatemala, which hosts 3 tectonic plates, the North American Plate, the Caribbean Plate, and the Cocos Plate. 5. West Coast of South America. The UN International Search and Rescue Advisory Group calls the west coast of South America one of the most seismogenic zones in the world. More than a quarter of the world's recorded 8.0 magnitude earthquakes have occurred here. On a map of hotspots released by the World Risk Report, the entire coast is lit up in a bright pink color indicating the highest level of danger. Seismic activity in the region originates in the 99-mile-long Peruvian Trough, Chile. Earthquakes associated with this topographic depression are known to trigger landslides and tsunamis. Something similar happened in Chile in 2010, when a magnitude 8.8 earthquake that lasted 3 minutes sent massive waves through about 50 coastal cities and as far north as San Diego. 6. West Africa. The entire African continent is at high risk due to climate extremes that cause widespread droughts and deadly floods. A World Bank study in 2010 revealed that 80% of deaths and 70% of economic losses associated with natural disasters in the region are caused by droughts and floods. The World Risk Report states that West Africa has the highest need for action. This is especially true for countries such as Burkina Faso, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mali, Nigeria, Niger and Sierra Leone. 7. Central Africa. According to World Bank data, floods accounted for a third of natural disasters in the Central African Republic between 1900 and 2020. Storms accounted for about 26%, forest fires 6%, and droughts about 3%. Droughts in Africa are getting worse as global warming and diseases, such as typhoid, acute meningitis, and malaria run rampant during the dry season. It is no coincidence that the African countries most vulnerable to drought are those referred to as the meningitis belt. The Meningitis Research Foundation says these outbreaks are expected to worsen due to climate change in the coming decades. 8. China. China is located at the confluence of the Eurasian, Pacific and Indian Ocean tectonic plates. The country experiences one-third of continental earthquakes that are considered damaging globally. Due to the country's high hills and mountains, earthquakes in the country are more likely to cause landslides or fires in forest areas. Of the world's 10 deadliest recorded natural disasters, 6 have occurred in China. Among the deadliest disasters were the Tangshan earthquake in 1976 and the deadly floods of 1931 that killed between 1 million and 4 million people. Located in high-risk geographical areas and with climate change becoming more extreme, it is no wonder that the 8 regions above are dangerous areas prone to natural disasters. Indonesia is also one of them because it is located in Southeast Asia, which is famous for its Pacific Ring of Fire.